Okay, this record is regarding exercise level 2 and 2. So today, what we have discussed in class was to create certain regulations and validations in the table forms. So what we need to do is that first we need to go to the student's name. We need to open the table, and this is the spreadsheet datasheet view. So we need to change to design view. In the design view, we need to change two things. One of them is the last name. If you go to the last name, then go down in the field property, and here it says required. The required, it says no. But what we have to do now is we need to change it into yes. Once you change this one, you need to go back to the spreadsheet view. It will ask you whether you want to save it, say yes. And it will say whether it's going to change, and just say yes. So now we have set some certain regulations in the last name. We are going to try it and we will see what it will give us. So let's give it any random numbers to start with. And if I write the first name, I must write the first name, and I'm going to skip writing last name. But I have set a regulation that if I miss last name, it should remind me. So I will try that one. And when I try to go to the next, it will give me a message that says you must enter a value to the student table or last name field. So this is what I want. So I will take a screenshot of this one. Okay, screenshot of this one and save it. To proceed to the next question, I need to say okay here first, and at least I need to give something, name. Unless I give name, because I have already set validation, it will not let me go to any other else. So since I finish it, done with this one, I check it, then I can delete this one now. I can say yes. The next question that we have to do is with validation of the numbers. So to do that, we will go again now to the design view. This time we are going to change some validation in the student ID. When you click the student ID, be in the student ID, and go down here that says validation rule. So what we need to do now is that we need to give it a number. We need to specify that, as you can see, all the students' numbers start with 9 and have 7 digits. So we need to give it that any number should be starting with 9 and should be above the 7 digits. Okay, to do that, and I'm going to give a validation rule that says greater than 9 followed by 7 zeros, 4, 5, 6, 7. So once I said this one, I need to do a validation text. The validation text is something that Access should tell me if I didn't do as specified. So in the validation rule, I will be writing something that says student ID need to start with a 9, and it should be greater than 8 digits. So I'm doing that. Okay, student ID has 8 digits and start with 9. That is a message. So every time if I try to enter below 9, this message should pop up and remind me what to do. So I'll try to go in the sheet, and it will ask me if I want to save. I will say yes. I will say yes again. So now I'm going to try it. Let's say we are going to enter into Mona's number, and we are going to change Mona's number into 8. 89099. Okay, if I try to go, then it will give me the message that I have already validated. So you take a screenshot of this one again, and you save it. And we have to say, okay, in order to proceed to the next question, we must correct what we have started. So we must make this one something, a number that start with 9 and have 8 digits on it. Unless we do that, it will never let us go to the other places. Okay. And the next question would be, and to change the Mona, and we have such a name. And we are going to go to the first name and make a duplication. Okay. So to do that, I have to go again to the view, design view. And in the first name and the second name, sometimes the names could be duplicated. For instance, there could be 2 Daniel or 2 people who have the same last name. So in order to allow access to accept this kind of data, we are going to go to first name. And once we go to index it, it says no in here. We have to go in here and say, yes, duplicate is okay. And we will do the same with the last name. We will go to index it and click in here and say, yes, duplicate is okay. Okay. And we will just go in here and say yes. So we have done it. So it means we can write 2 Daniels and 2 other last names. That's set now. And the next thing is going to be input mask. And the input mask, if we want to do that, we have to go again to the design, but we have to be in the phone. This time we need to be in the phone. So in the phone number, we have to go to input mask. If you click in the input mask, it will give you something that looks like this dots in the right side. Click that one. Once you click it, it will give you different formats where you can enter. So if you are writing postal code, it can lead you the way you have to write. If you are writing social insurance number, password, dates, and other things, this is where you change the setting. So now we are going to change the phone number because we are in the phone, and I will say next. And it's showing me that this is going to be the input mask. And in here, the placeholder character is going to be minus or hashtag and other things. But for the exercise, we are going to use the underscore. And we will say next. And once it gave us a choice, how do you want to store the data? I would be choosing this one with the symbol in the mask like this one. Okay. And I will say next, and I will say finish. Okay. So the moment it will give you an input mask, this time you take a screenshot of this one and it will be ready for submission. The next question would be working with other questions, which is a table student class. So what we are going to do is we are going to close this one and save everything that we have done. Okay, so far we have done 3 screenshots, and we are going to go now to a student class. In the student class, as you can see, the class ID is given as numbers, and the semester is represented unknown. So we are going to create a lookup. Okay, to do that, we have to go to design view, and I'm going to be in the student ID place. Okay, so student ID, I will go to the numbers. I will click this arrow in the numbers, then I will say lookup wizard. So it will bring me a lookup wizard that looks like this one. So for now, we are going to say, I want the lookup field, this one, and the already selected one, and we say next. And it's asking us, we are going to look up, where do you want me to look? And still, we want to look something in this class, okay? Even though we open this one, this table, what we want is in here. So we will keep selecting this one and say next. Now it asks us, what do you want to know? This is the class ID is in number, but we don't want the number. We want the class name. So I will select class name and put it in the other side, and I will say next. And it asks me, how do you want to sort it? For sorting, I will say sort it in class name. Okay, then I will say next. And somehow it's going to show me this one. Don't change anything, say next. And it will say class ID, and everything is fine. I will say finish. Okay. And the table must be saved. Okay, yes. So once I want to go to the view, and as you can see, my class ID, instead of numbers now, they become the classes. Okay, and they become the classes. Not only become the classes, if I click in Spanish 101 now, if I click in the arrow, it will give me all the names of the classes. So I can change the Spanish now into Art 100 or Art 101. Okay. If I want to change the others, I can also change it. But for now, let's just change to Art 100. Now this one, the ID class have been changed. What is remaining now is the semesters. We need to create a semesters. To do that again, we will go to the design. And this time I'm going to be in the semester. And I will click this side of it and go to lookup wizard. So in the previous one, we used that I want to look up. This time we want to type our own because we don't have any semesters stated. So I will click I will type in the value that I want. Okay, change it and say next. And the semesters that I want to write is maybe summer, and I will go to the next. I will say winter. Then I will have maybe spring. Maybe I would say maybe fall. So I have 4 semesters in here, but based on the season. I have written them, and I will say next. And it says semesters, things that we are going to change. We don't want to change anything. We just will say finish. So we have made a change in the semester. And if you go to see these things, and it will ask you to say, do you want to save now? Yes. And here we are, our semesters, still unknown. But now we have a choice. If I click the unknown, I can drop down and change them in summer, winter, and spring, and fall. Yeah. What you have to do is just change them like that. Summer. So once this is done, then you just have to take a screenshot of this one and save, as well as save all the documents and just submit. Okay, that's all.